everyone, this is Bev from Art by Bedell with another process video for Junk Journal January on January 29th for geometric. We're going to start with a little differently today, in that one other time we started by working outside the journal, and that's what we're going to do today too. I have this piece of cotton fabric here. It's kind of an oatmeal type color. I purchased it at Walmart, and it's just a very heavy cotton fabric. It's not canvas. It's not quite as heavy as canvas, I don't believe. And it's not really a duck cloth either. Anyhow, just search for some heavy cotton fabric and you'll have just what you need should you decide you'd like to do this. So what I have done so far is I have prepped it by priming it with gesso. I use Golden gesso. You can use whatever brand that you like. Golden, the one that I have, is smooth. It's not gritty. You can also use acrylic paint, and you don't have to do white if you don't want to. So, and then my next step that I want to do is to add some acrylic paints. Some acrylic inks. So I want to do a nature theme, and I have this Daler Rowney, and my hands are a mess. I've been gessoing and gluing things this morning, and let's see, I just wanted to continue on here. Sap green. So I'm going to, okay, let me go back a step. The reason I would add gesso to this fabric is because I wanted to, of course, fabric is woven threads, and I wanted to kind of seal it and give myself like a coat on top that would make my paint flow better rather than just sinking down into the fabric. So I wanted to seal my fabric, and that's why I chose this. You can do clear gesso also. There's, you know, whatever you want to put on top of your fabric to seal it, that's what you'll use. I like to do gesso. I'm a big fan of gesso, and now I'm a big fan of acrylic inks. So anyhow, because I've sealed the fabric, this ink should go fairly well on here. Now, have I put liquid acrylic ink on fabric before? Nope. But we're going to try today and see what we come up with, right? And see if we can get kind of a nature theme thing going on here. So let's see now if this will move with the water, and it is. This is what I was hoping for by sealing my fabric with the gesso, was that the ink would respond as it would on any paper that I have used. So is it going to probably not go as well? Probably not, because it is still a piece of fabric. But we do have some green, pretty green covering, and it is coming through on the back side. Now, if you don't want it to come through on the back side, then maybe add 2 coats of gesso. I only did 1. I'm playing. I am experimenting, and I'm not too worried about it, because I think in the end I can create something on this that I like. Now, whether it'll go where the direction I think it will or not, I don't know. But is it fun to find out? Oh yeah, it's lots of fun to play with your different mediums and just see where things want to go. So I did this years and years and years ago. I took a piece of fabric such as this, but I cannot remember for the life of me how I did it. It probably was 15 years ago that I did do it. And I made a cover out of it for a journal. It was really pretty. It was green. It had some ferns on it, and it was just really, really pretty. So, but I didn't have the acrylic inks. I know I didn't. So probably just used like acrylic paint and painted it, I'm imagining. And then I did some rubber stamping on it. And another product that I don't have anymore that I used on that was spray webbing. Now, the spray webbing was by Krylon, and it came in a can. And oh my goodness, I was at that time for texture, that was my go-to, was that can of spray webbing. I don't even know if Krylon carries it anymore. This is getting to be, I think, very, very pretty. So I think if I go very lightly with my brown, but I don't want to get too dark because I want some images on this to show up. So this one I have is Artist Loft and it is raw sienna. So let's see. Of course, if I go too dark with it, I can always gesso over it and lighten it up. And let's just add some of this here and there. Being careful not to go too far with it. And do I have to add water every time? No, I don't, but I like to watch that just bleed out. That just, I don't know, it floats my boat to watch that ink just spread like that. Now that's really kind of pretty. Let's try to get rid of that seam in the center there that we have going on by folding it in different directions. And who knows, guys, maybe in the end, the back will be the part that we like. We don't know yet. So there we go. Now, of course, you realize this is going to take drying time. I'm getting this piece of fabric pretty wet here. So let me see. I think I'm going to stop with those colors for now. I'm going to dry this, and then I'll be back so that we can see what the next step will be. All right, this is mostly dry. And before I got it dry this far even, of course, you still see paint coming off. I crumpled it up. And that gave me some valleys and mountains on my fabric here with the ink. And I like that too. So to crumple it, I just went like this and just crumpled it right up, just like that. And then that dispersed the ink a little bit better. There we go. So yeah, this is still quite wet. I can feel it. But look at the back too. The back is pretty yummy. Like I say, we may end up liking the back better. So anyhow, now I've got this, and it's still damp. The paint is not runny, but it's still damp. I have found out on a walk with Sammy some treasures, and I tried doing some printing with them, and I did get a nice print here. But I think that the leaves were just so saturated with all the rain and the snow and laying out there in the mud and that we didn't do very well. And I did put quite a bit of, soak them in rust. Anyhow, we'll get off that subject and let's go to what we have here. And what I want to do is do some leaf printing with these. Now on the other piece that I did some rubber stamping, and I might incorporate that too. But to start with today, I want to do some leaf printing on this, and I'm going to use some acrylic paint. I'm just going to move this over so that we can see what's going on over here too. Now, let's just go with this. It's called Lush Foliage, and it's just a craft paint from Walmart. And I'll need a spatula. And I'm just going to use this piece of paper here as my palette. So I have some paint out here on my palette, and I'm just going to spread the paint onto my leaf. I want to get a good coat onto my leaf, and I have a palette knife that I'm doing that with. And then I'm going to take it over to my piece of fabric, and I will take another piece of paper and lay on top of it and press it all down, and hopefully we'll get a print. I'm not expecting a perfect leaf print. I want something that resembles a leaf though. So we have that, and let's see how that turned out. Okay, and I think we can get several prints off one leaf. So I'm going to put down some more paint, my palette knife, spread the paint on. And take my leaf to my fabric again, lay it down, put my piece of paper on, rub it, pull it up, and we have another print. So this, I'm going to put these leaves all the way around here. So I'm going to save that leaf, put it aside, and I'm going to choose another one here. Let's go with this one. It's just a little bitty one. I am putting the paint on the back side where the veins are on the leaf. That will give us the veins on our print. let's see, do we have one more we'd like to try? We'll try this one here. I think that's enough leaf printing. I'll put my excess paint back in my bottle. And then I'm going to dry this. We have this piece of paper now where I've rubbed my leaves that we can use also we can further embellish it and use that for a piece of mixed media. Collage paper. Okay, let's dry this. All right, I feel that that's dry enough to continue. I want to, let's see, what do I want to do? I know I want more color on this. So I think I will take I have to think this through. I'm going to take my watercolors and I'm going to add some color on it that way. And I have my Arteza watercolors. I'm just going to get a watercolor brush that will hold a fair amount of water and color. I'll just move this over here and my paint over here. I have a little jar of water here, and I'm going to start with a green, and let's see what happens. Okay, that's not a different enough green, but now that I've started, I'll put a little bit here and there. A different enough shade of green, I should say. I think it's too close to this green, which it's good that it's close to that green because it will blend with it, but I wanted a darker green there. So I have some of that on there, and it does look nice. Let me see what color my darker green looks like. Whoops. I think that might be it right here. So let's put a little bit of this on there. Just here and there. It doesn't have to be a lot of ink. I just want to add in some different colors. I take my brush and I just hold it sideways and hit those hills, then it kind of highlights them, and that's pretty cool. Where do I have some? Right here, I highlighted those where they were pretty high. Got some over here. And as you can see, that adds a little bit of texture to it when you do that. All right, so I'm liking the way that's turning out. It's got quite a bit more color, another shade of green. I like that it has the 3 different shades of green on there. The brown is peeking through, only it's not too much brown. It's probably just enough. I'm going to take a stamp, and I'll probably use my script stamp, and I'm going to go with the StazOn ink. I have a archival brown. Let's try that instead of the StazOn. It is also a permanent waterproof ink, and it's by Ranger. And I'm just going to take my stamp and just get some script on my fabric. Oh yeah, it's really coming together now. Each layer that you add to these makes it all pull together. Now, if I would have stopped with just one green, I would not have been happy. I needed more color than that. Am I done with color yet? Probably not. I'll probably add something else. But I just wanted to get this on here. Could I stop with this right here? I sure could, because I'm really, really liking this. Will I stop with this? I am contemplating. I'm really not sure. I kind of like this. So there we go. Let me bring it up so you can see the yumminess that's going on inside this. I know when it's further away, it's hard to see, but I'm really, really liking this. I really could stop right there, guys. Let's see. Do I want to? I think what I need to do is to sprinkle some black splatters on it. And to do that, I will use, this is a little bit of gesso that I've used for watering down, and I have my fan brush that I use for splattering here. So I'll just get this liquidy enough, not too liquidy, and then give some splatters. Oh yeah, I'm liking that. And this may be all that this needed to finish it off. They're bleeding out a little. If your fabric was totally dry, that wouldn't happen. But I'm okay with that. Now a gold would also be pretty in splatters on that. I have some golden fluid acrylic in gold, and we're gonna put a little bit in this right here, just a little bit. Take a little bit of clean water here and just pour just a tiny bit in there to water that down. Just a few drops if I can. There we go, that's probably too much. All right, and we'll take my brush, stir it all up, and see what we get for splatters. Pretty big ones. But I think when it's all dry, there'll be that little iridescent quality to it that you'll see, and that will be so pretty. So there we have it. I will put this in another container rather than waste it. There we go, all sealed shut. So next time I need some gold splatter, I have it. Now I need to dry this again. All right, guys, this is not dry, and it's going to take a while to dry before I can proceed to working in our journal with it. So this video is quite long already. I am going to split the videos like I did one other time, and in the second video, you are going to see me building my page with my geometric shapes using our beautiful fabric that we made for a nature-themed page. So we shall see you in part 2.